Cool, cool, cool. You guys haven't seen me in a couple months. Literally like 2 months. I was at my parents' house in Dedham, Massachusetts. I'm gonna talk while I do these weights. For like 30 something days. And then coming back here, in my head before we left, I was like, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna eat my meals. I'm gonna be me, my life here. I'm gonna have it exactly the same in America. And dude, it was like impossible. Every day was like doing something, seeing people, going somewhere. There was no chance for like dieting, sticking to my workout routine, unless I sacrificed all those kind of moments, experiences, nights, evenings, activities with, you know, all the family and friends that I haven't seen in a year. So I was like, you know what, the gym could take a back seat. I have never taken this much time off working out though. And I gotta tell you, I got so weak from under eating, not training. I didn't bring any of my vials, you know, my test vials. So I was like just a regular dude, like the most regular person ever. Ate like normal people, you know, just whatever. So I came back here and I benched and I was weak as shit. I did some deads, I was weak as shit. I did some rows, I was weak. I was like, you know what? This is my starting point. So the last couple of benching workouts I've had have been good. Last couple back and leg workouts have been good. So I feel like I can actually start training full volume, full everything, not hold back, not leave any reps in the tank, not leave any sets off, you know? So in November, we have a wedding to go to in Megan's brother. No, they're technically married now, but they're getting like their actual wedding is gonna be in India because she and her family are from India. So we're going there in November and I have nothing planned between now and then. So I just wanna get as big and diced as I possibly can in the next, I'll have all of August, all of September, all of October, and like 2 weeks in November. So I'll have probably like 14 or 15 weeks to just get huge and ripped and whatever. I came back here at 253, which was really upsetting because I left at like 238, really in good shape, you know? So I put on some chunk or whatever. I've done 2 weeks back on my food plan. On my scale, I came down 1 pound on the scale to 252. But I've gotten leaner and my frame and my muscles have kind of filled back out. So I don't feel too bad about myself, but man, if I can just recommend, if you guys travel or whatever, just keep the gym and your meals kind of at least somewhat there, because going completely cold turkey, nothing, and then coming back to this kind of reverse cold turkey, it's really tough. So I got my 55-pound plates on here. This is like just under 500, just doing some warm-ups. I hit 6 plates somewhere in the upper 500s, just under 600 for 10 last deadlift workout, which isn't a PR or nothing. I mean, that's like not impressive for me. So I want to get, now that I've hit six plates equivalent, you know, American to kilos, I'm gonna go up to like 6.5. Once I get that for 10, I'm gonna go up. I want to get 700 pounds flat, 700 for 10 reps on deadlifts. And I want to get my 855 deadlift really bad. I pulled 815 as my best ever. I want to get 9 plates, 855, you know, 850, 855, whatever I can get close to in kilos. That's a huge goal of mine, while getting shredded, while getting bigger, while videoing. It's gonna be a good time. So you guys haven't seen me in a bit, but you guys have still been here on YouTube and lifting your weights. I'm the one that left for, you know, a few weeks. So I'm happy to be back, happy to be hauling this weight. And yeah, let me just hit this for another quick little warm up. Alrighty, let's go up. All right, so this is what I hit for 10, I believe, last deadlift workout. So I'm gonna hit this for a warm up and then, you know, and then go up. I think this week I feel, like I said, really solid. So I'm gonna do 2 working sets of deads, probably 8 working sets of rear delts, but it's 4, and it's like a superset. So it's 2 exercises, 4 sets of each makes 8 total sets, or I guess 4 supersets. Then I'm gonna do maybe 3 sets of pull-ups and maybe 3 sets of T-bar rows. So I have a hinging movement today. I have rear delts in the middle of the workout before a compound row, or pull, whatever. Then I have pull-ups third, regular bodyweight pull-ups, neutral grip, and then 4th is gonna be my T-bar rows. All right, let's rip this baby. Cool. Felt, I guess, as good as it can for being a loser for a month and not lifting weights. I will say, like, I really missed training and I missed videoing like a ton. I missed making my videos, editing, and all these things. And like I've never moved out of the country, my home country, and I've also never like gone back to it to see family and friends after being away for a year, like for 1 month. I've never done that before. Now I know I gotta make an effort to get to the gym maybe twice a week and not just eat everything in sight with all my Italian cooking and food and everything that's available, because, oh man, it's like taking several steps back, you know? But then you kind of might say to yourself, well, maybe it's worth it for the experience, you know, like family members that I'm not gonna have around because they're older and whatever. And maybe there's just memories and things that would have never happened if I was too into the gym. So I can find maybe some sort of middle ground between sticking exactly to my 5 meals a day, 4 days a week in the gym, whatever, and between there and like totally abandoning it, if that makes sense. That's for next year. For right now, I'm focusing on my goals and myself, my money, my physique, my woman, and this beautiful bar with beautiful plates on it that I will be hoisting for as many reps as I can. All right, working set 1, here we go. Recording, right? Yep. No, this is a set. I'm gonna double condiment. 2 magnums for the big weight. There's like club music on in here. I'm not really crazy about it. Come on. All right, 4. Bro, I got 12 with that before we left. Wow, I feel like a loser. Is that Jim Carrey? That's a Jim Carrey thing, right? Anyways, that's working set 1. Let's go down to working set 2. All right, so that was rough because before we went home, I hit 660, which is the weight I just did, 300 kilos for 12. And today I just got 4. But I'm thinking, you know what? It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Everything's cool, you know? So I'm gonna try to get this now. This was my top set, like a good, to get big, find a top set of a weight with an exercise that builds tissue. Pick one that builds tissue for you. And if you're skinny and you're putting the pin all the way down on a machine with a gym pin and you're skinny, are you lifting weights to stroke yourself or are you lifting weights to get bigger? Because that doesn't make sense to me. How can a 160 pound, no muscle, skinny nothing, who can't even pick up 1 or 2 plates on a deadlift or barbell row 1 or 2 plates, yet you're maxing out machines because that makes you feel good in the gym and whatever. It's not building fucking any muscle. So find mass building movements for you. For example, a conventional deadlift is a great mass building movement for your entire backside. And if anyone tells you don't do it because it doesn't isolate your muscles enough or it works too many things, that's the whole goddamn point. It was you pick that weight up, you're getting however many hundreds of pounds hitting all that musculature. It's the most bang for your buck, I think, tissue adding exercise with the barbell row. They're like tied for first almost to me in a weird way. So find your mass building movements. Pick a weight you can get 6 to 7 reps with, roughly, just over 5. You don't want to be too heavy, where a set of 5 is like really harsh. Just over 5, 6, 7 reps, and get that for 10. Then your next workout, add a little bit of weight, and you are going to take your working weight from the previous workout. Let's say it's 200 pounds for 10. Cool, you hit your 10 mark. Now you need to go to 250 and get it for like 5 or 6 or 7. And your second set, you need to now get your 200 for 10. So your working top set 1 is going to become your second set. You got what I'm saying? So now you can progressively overload that, multiply by months, multiply by years with good eating, good sleep. It's a simple game, man. It's a simple game. Don't worry about fatigue. Don't worry about nonsense. Worry about getting bigger and worry about getting stronger. Eating right, sleeping right. That's it. Eat, train, sleep, repeat. Surround yourself with people that excite you to work on your goals. All right, let's see what I can get with this bitch. Got to get at least 10 to match my top set reps last week. One more. 12. That's a W. Next exercise. All right, so when I was home, I did one set of rear delts, and like right here, I got like this weird pain or whatever. And I was like, oh, no big deal. I haven't been able to do it since. So I'm using this machine, which I can stack, add a plate on top, you know, not hard to like, I've been doing this a minute. So for me to do these lighter weights, I have to figure out a way. How can I still get an effective, you know, sets in when I'm not going as heavy? It might be my teres, it might be where my long head of my tricep meets, you know, back here where my rear delt is. It's something back here that's bothering me. And I'm either gonna have to ditch this exercise completely, the rear delt fly on the pec deck, which I love, it's a great mass builder, or I'm gonna have to do it a lot lighter. I'm more concerned with people understanding movement patterns as opposed to being attached to an exercise. So retracting my shoulder blades is not something that I need to be worrying about on rear delts. I need to lock my shoulders in place and just bring my arms out. I don't need to retract and protract like a row. All I need to do is just go like that. So it doesn't have to be on this machine. I prefer this one, but if I have to ditch it, like I said, we're going to. I think I can do this and it won't hurt my recovery. Maybe I need to, you know, take a BPC shot in my armpit. I don't believe in, you know, strict textbook straight sets. I do think partials, extended sets, rest pause, whatever, is excellent for these small muscles where the exercise is like a 1 out of 10 on the fatigue fucking scale that everyone's obsessed with, and it's in isolation. Think about the difference between a deadlift or a barbell row or something really heavy like that versus like a rear delt fly. One of those is way taxing, one of those is not. So maybe picking your moments where you do those intensifiers on your big stuff, absolutely, I could say I agree with. I don't think you're ever gonna come to the gym and go, oh, I'm gonna get fatigued or CNS taxed or overworked from doing extended sets on an exercise that's this, with one tiny little muscle. You know what I mean? Like, you can't apply the never do drop sets thing to all your lifts across all your muscles. Pick the exercises and the muscles, and you need to study how you grow. I grow my rear delts with high reps. I just do. So I'm gonna continue doing what's worked for me so far. And now, I'm really into supersetting things. So I'm gonna superset this rear delt fly right here with seated, I'm in the chair. The dumbbells are gonna go underneath my legs. I'm gonna do rear delt flies leading with my elbow. It almost looks like a row, but it's, you know, it's a fly really. So I don't wanna be coming up where I'm leading with my back. My shoulders are gonna be protracted and scapular depressed. And just lead with your elbow. Get a nice pump. 15, 20 reps. Once your reps start looking like a little bit like, you know, you're bringing you to the weight, that's when it's time to be done, because take your 5 or 10 seconds to walk back to your other thing. Literally 10, 15, 20 seconds is like the most. 30 seconds is pushing it, is the most I want to rest between my rear delt stuff. So if you have a training partner, you guys are yapping and talking between sets, maybe have a kind of a little conversation where you go, hey, we can talk later. We can hang out later. Right now, I got to focus on gains. Back to this, see if I can go a little heavier. Oh, it still hurts, but fuck it. So I'm gonna hit some partials. 3, 2, 1. All right, back to this. The reason why I'm sitting in a chair for this is because I don't want to have to use my back to stabilize this exercise. Like I said, this is a rear delt exercise, but I don't care about my back muscles being worked because I can do pull-ups, deadlifts, and rows and shrugs for my back. This is just a tiny little dumbbell in my hands, and I'm just leading with my elbow to get a good pump and squeeze these rear delts. Little rest pause or whatever you want to call it. I just call them extended sets. I never really understood the word rest pause. Doesn't, like, you're resting and you're pausing, like it's just a weird phrase to me. So I'm just like, whatever. Extend the set. Take a rest, keep going. All right, a couple more of these. I'm not gonna video. Back and forth 2 more times, and I'll see you guys at the fans of my microphone. I'm gonna do pull-ups next. Finish with some T-bar rows, and like the title says, this is a really good workout. If you're skinny, if you're weak, if you want to pack on muscle in the fastest way possible from being very dissatisfied with how you look, deadlifting, barbell, free weight training builds the most amount of muscle, but it's the hardest to learn. And that's my opinion. Disagree with me? Whatever. So the next workout that I do is gonna have barbell rows, still rear delts, still my pull-ups, but instead of rowing again twice in one workout, I started with rows, I gotta finish with my shrugs so I can get my traps up to my ear and look like I have shoulder pads on. That's the other workout. So this whole workout today is all my back stuff minus 2 things. And that's the formula I've found to just literally get 10, 12 pounds of muscle every year. Since I started training like this, I have not put on over 10 pounds of muscle every year. And that includes months in that year that were strictly dieting, body fat, environments, and it's worked really well for me. And I can't be the only one that this has worked for. So I'm trying to give you guys some material here to test on yourselves. But don't give up after 2 weeks. Give up. Don't give up in general, but at least trial and error your way for more than a couple of workouts. Since I'm 15 pounds heavier than the last time I've really trained these, and a lot weaker, I think I'm just gonna do body weight and see how I feel. And the main thing for me is taking my elbow and bringing it down into the sides of my rib cage into my lats, like this. Neutral grip, pull right into my sides. And I hope I can reach this without using a cute little high chair. Yeah, there's no way. I see people doing lat pull downs, pull-ups, whatever exercise, and they're very vertical. Their body goes straight up and down. You gotta do this like a row. So you gotta tilt back and row yourself up like that. So that was tough. I usually get 10 with like weight on my feet and not like a little dumbbell, like a serious dumbbell on my feet. So I'm just gonna hit 3 body weight sets, and my last movement will be that T-bar row, and that'll be it. And if you can't do body weight, that's okay. Just grab the good old assisted pull-up and just treat it as if you're just, not on a machine. Progressively overload and work on your technique. And yeah. All right, let's do it. Set 2. Deads lit me up. Holy shit. From like my traps down to my ass, lit up. And then rear delts blows up the back of your shoulder. Now doing some pull-ups. I'm getting a good lat pump here. I mean, you can't go wrong with this progression. And then I got T-bar rows next. You kidding me? How much muscle this type of workout builds when you're eating right, sleeping right. Oof. 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 When I can only get halfway up to the bar, that's when the set's over. All right, so third set, I'm gonna give you this kind of side angle. I don't know, man, it's like these little details. Someone might not think they matter, but yeah, if you're doing pull-ups like once a week, or you're doing some sort of row once a week, some sort of chest press once a week, some sort of quad thing once a week, you know, you kind of want it to be on point. You know, if it's a little off, what's gonna happen after a year? Because practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Elbows to my sides. Oh my God. This is the last set, so I'm gonna get a couple extra reps. Whatever, rest, pause it. Done. Last one, T-bars. So T-bar rows, I think, are like chest, no chest support, no seat, a true T-bar row. The reason why I do these last, for me personally, is because I don't use the largest size diameter plate. Because the range of motion, the plate hits you in the stomach. I know, I mean, I've watched Ronnie Coleman's videos. I mean, he's like my idol. I've seen him load the entire bar up with 45-pound plates because it was epic. It was just, you know, it was just fucking sick. If I could make an ideal world, I wish I could have 45-pound plates that are like the size of a 25-pound plate, you know, diameter. So here I have this grip. I got the good old, whatever this is called, V-grip thing. When I do these T-bar rows, I want to get the most range of motion, and I don't want these plates hitting me in the stomach before I'm done squeezing my lats to, you know, squeezing my lats all the way. So I have my normal, you know, V grip here, and I'm just picking smaller plates in my gym that lets me get the full range of motion. So if your gym has 33-pound plates or 35-pound plates, or even use the 25s, whatever you gotta do, it doesn't matter, just get that range of motion. All right, let's go up a little bit, not too much. So you wanna be in a good foundation, like it's a deadlift or a squat or whatever. And I think the plate's coming up like literally an inch or two max off the ground and rowing from there up to your chest. As the reps get harder, don't, you know, do this as your reps get hard. Stay down here. And once you can't do another rep, then the set's over, and that's awesome, you know? Last set in the house. Last set. I'm just doing 2 sets of this because I'm so smoked right now. All right, let's go. Done. Thank you, baby. All right, I'm good to go. Finish up your last thing. I'm gonna help you unload anything. Nope. How'd that come out?